for people who are familiar with it. We listened to Christina Anderson in the beginning, who was in one of the rooms that was attacked. The specific layout is kind of important, and you'll see me refer back to the book to get the stats correct and the exact path through the rooms correct. But it started early in the morning in a dorm where an individual killed 2 people. No one obviously knew about that when classes started that day. The shooter then went to a classroom building, chained the doors shut, and put notes on them that there were explosives. Right? So another avenue, another idea for now law enforcement to deal with when responding. But again, creating an adverse situation, creating another obstacle for our response, potentially delaying that response. Once that individual does that, goes up to the 2nd floor, and here's the classroom layout. Now, the avoid, deny, defend kind of comes into play here, and you'll be able to see just by the stats that I'm going to read off kind of how those things work. The first room entered by the shooter that day was 206. So right in the middle on the top of the screen. The individual walked in, all right, and just started indiscriminately shooting students and the teacher in there. Now you have to understand that there weren't gunshots down the hall, there weren't gunshots downstairs, no one knew about the individuals in the dormitory already, right? This was walk in and start shooting. So no preparation time, no time to take too much action. In this room, 92% of the people were shot, 77% were killed. Now, once he left 206, he returned. All right? So again, that down is not dead comes into play there. Yes, people were shot. Yes, a significant number of people were wounded were in that room. But after he left, could something have happened? Right? These are all things we think about now. We look back, we study. Could something have happened? Could an action have prevented him from coming back into there and potentially harming more people? The second room, 207. So he comes across the hall into room 207. He walks in, shoots several students and the teacher, and the students in this room describe it as the shooter just indiscriminately walked down the aisles. Bang, 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 bang. No rhyme, no reason, no method, nothing. Just one after another, up and down the aisles. Again, the shooter left and attempted to return, but the students actually used their bodies to barricade the door here. He was able to get the door open slightly and fire one shot in there, not striking anyone else, and then the door closed again. So again, some resistance. 85% of the individuals in that room were shot, 38% killed. Next was 211. This is where Christina Anderson was. Professor heard shots and told the student to call 911. They attempted to block the door with a desk, but were unable to get it blocked before the shooter was able to actually push his way into that room. Shot the professor, and again, walked down the aisle indiscriminately, student after student after student. 100% of the people in this classroom were shot, 67% killed. Room 204. There's a professor, and I get the name wrong every single time. I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong again. It's Livrescu, who was a Holocaust survivor. Heard everything going on. Held the door shut. Yelled at the students to jump out the window. All right, the shooter was able to engage the professor through the door, ultimately striking him and killing him. But the majority of the students in this room made it out and survived. And I say only, it's still a lot, but 36% were shot, 14% killed. 205. Students in this room had time to react. They were able to push a large teacher's desk against the door and got down low and almost put a back to the desk and their feet to someone else's back and so on and so forth over to the wall and deny the shooter entry. Right? He attempted to push on the door. It didn't budge, or it didn't open enough for him to even get a shot through. He did fire one shot at the door, not striking anyone. Entry was never gained. No one was shot. No one died. So again, that action, think about that. Even how significant in the professor's room the numbers drop down by the action of one person holding the door shut and telling people to jump out the window. A significant drop by that action, and that's what we want. These kind of go through again, the numbers, percentage for each room. And again, we take into account here, right? Had time. Albeit probably not a lot of time, but 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that can potentially be a long time. And if you can get through that denial, get through that deliberation, and get to that decisive moment of taking action, you could potentially save yourself or many other people. Right? You're not helpless. We want you to take action. We want you to survive. We want you to get out of this situation. If unfortunately you do get hurt or injured, down is not dead. You can survive it. What you guys do matters. That's why we stress so much more now, not only training ourselves, but training the civilian aspect of it. Because we talked about it, right? There's that 3-minute window potentially nationally. That's a long time. And that's your time to take your action to potentially save yourself and maybe other people. Now, when the attack starts, one thing we want you to think about and take into consideration for all this is if you can't avoid, we don't want you to scrap it forever. If you can't get out of this room right away, we don't want you to say, all right, that's it, forget it, it's gone forever. It's something I can't do now. So primary exits, yes, can we get out? Great, get out of here. If it's not an option, now we've moved to deny, right? Barricade that door, use the belt on the handle, use the belt on the hinge. Desks, chairs, whatever it is, deny entry, right? Now that we've denied entry, does that mean we just sit here and hope that nothing happens? No, we want that action again. We denied entry here. Is there another way out of this building? Is there another way out of this room? Just because we did one thing doesn't mean we're not going to stop thinking about the potential for other things. So if there is another exit, great, get out of there. Right? Just because we bypassed it at first and it wasn't an option right away doesn't mean we can't go back and revisit it. If there isn't potentially any other exits, now we've moved on, obviously, to that defend. So grab that chair, grab that desk, grab that table, fire extinguisher, coffee maker, scissors.